I'm about to go on a run here through DC and show you what it looks like now that the Trump administration has sent in the National Guard and federalized our police force. Didn't even get to start the run. I'm on my block. We've got police right here. This is Border Patrol, and then these are some unmarked vehicles as well as more Border Patrol. Now following that group of cars, we're about 4 blocks in. All right, just got to Union Station. Here is what the scene looks like. Kind of a weird scene here, but we've got 3 of these military trucks sitting behind me. Now I'm headed in the direction of the Capitol. There's a bunch of whistles blowing, as well as a bunch of sirens coming up the street, it sounds like. I'm not sure what building this is, but it turns out it's megaphones and pots and pans, and they're trying to disturb whatever building this is. Just to be 100% clear, none of these videos are meant for like fear-mongering. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I just simply want to show you what it looks like, and obviously draw your own conclusions. I'm not here to necessarily put out a narrative, but at the same time, if there is something that is blatantly obvious and a threat to people's safety and other DC residents, I'm going to call it out in the video, even if it's my opinion. I just circled back to head back to Martin Luther King Jr. Library now that it is shut down to see what happens. And in front of me, I have about 8 agents along with police. We got Border Patrol, Secret Service, Homeland Security Investigations, and one that just says federal agent.
Get the fuck out of my city! Your brother never loved you!
There's a group of Border Patrol and MPD behind me. They just stopped 2 men for smoking weed, which to my knowledge is legal in DC. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. Just in the few blocks that I walked alongside those federal agents, the number of scared reactions that I saw from people of color that were walking just down the street minding their business was insane. Just to give you an example, a black mother and her son was walking down the street. The second they turned the corner and saw the agents walking towards them, she immediately grabbed her son's hand and told him, when you see these people out here walking around, you're gonna hold my hand because I want them to know that you're mine and you're not out here causing trouble because we don't want any trouble with them. It was truly just so disheartening to see. I'm popping by the White House right now just to see if there's any protests going on. Not much going on, just seemed like tourists. I'm at the George Washington University campus now. There was heavy presence here tonight. Not so much anymore. There's a couple individuals hanging out by some of the tents that are normally here, so I'm gonna go see what's being said there. So this is right here in front of some of the tents here at Washington Circle by GW campus. Again, I don't necessarily want to show faces, but one person was picked up here by a shelter van that took him to a local shelter as opposed to being surrounded here in Washington Circle by a bunch of federal agents. It sounds like there's a lot of confusion between the different agencies and who's in charge of what. For example, at that location, DC police was putting up a bunch of notices on all the tents, letting people know that they do have to leave the area eventually. Some agencies showed up and honored that and basically moved on with their night. Sounds like some of the other agencies would show up and basically ignore the notice and start asking people, hey, do you have somewhere you can go right now? You gotta go. It wasn't forceful, but I'm sure it's definitely causing some confusion amongst the unhoused people here. I was just in Wawa, and 2 DC police officers were in there talking to each other. I listened to them as they chatted amongst themselves when they realized that they got the official notification that they are allowed to ask immigration status of people that they detain. They looked at each other and immediately shook their heads, and then one of them said, that ain't my job. That just tells me that the police here even feel like it's an overreach. All right, now that's all I got for tonight, so good night.